Okay, now it is time to go back to visiting with Chrissy Joy. Let's go ahead and roll part two. And today we are visiting with certified dog trainer extraordinaire, Chrissy Joy. You may know Chrissy Joy as host of The Dog Moms on Dog TV and host of the popular The Dog Moms podcast. Chrissy Joy is also a seasoned dog trainer, and her troupe, the Joy Crew, have been featured on a ton of TV shows. There you go. Welcome back, Chrissy Joy. And I can see now that you have some, let's see, canine friends with you. There they are, the Joy Crew. Hello, buddy. Look, giving lots of love.
Yeah. This is Darby. He's super cool. He's going to show you some tricks towards the end. But yeah, he was actually just on Good Burger too. So he's a pretty cool dog.
Oh, what do you love most about Darby?
To be honest, I love that he is always ready to work and he's always happy to work. I love that enthusiasm. I love that he's always like, the glass is always half full or overflowing. So it's really nice when you have like sudden things you need to do or performances or whatever it is. He's always up for the challenge. I never have to worry about him about like, is he going to be there on the spot and have enough energy? He's always like, yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's so great. Now, did he appear on the Tonight Show with you or
so he
Jimmy
did
Fallon?
not. He did not. And the reason for that is that you'll see, maybe he's a little quiet today, but if I were to have him do prop tricks, he would have like bashed through them because he's a very intense dog. So I had to pick, actually, to be honest, I was going to do Beasley, my like steady Eddie international trick dog champion. He's older, but I was worried that the stress of travel and city and all the stress of that show, I was worried about him not doing his best. Like, I just don't think at this older age that he loves that. So
sure,
I opted very last minute, like 24, 48 hours out of the show. I opted to use Whidbey, who also goes by Kevin Bacon. Funny story is that no one can ever say his name, Whidbey. So even on set, they can never say it and they always get it wrong. So the running joke since he was a puppy was just call him Kevin.
There you go, Kevin.
Yeah, but he had to learn Beasley's routine in like 2 days or less. So it was stressful, but man, I really believe God was with me on that one.
Oh, that's so great.
He aced it. He absolutely aced it. And there was a particular spot that it was always kind of bobbling and he completely nailed it. Brought it home.
Way to go, Whidbey, aka Kevin. Way to go, buddy. Tell me about the preparation leading up to that moment. How did you get him ready? How did you prepare yourself?
Yeah, so I was really excited because I'm really comfortable being on camera and talking to new people. I don't get like that, kind of starstruck moment. I was just really wanted to be in my element with my dog. For me, it was about making sure the props were ready and that they were camera ready and making sure that, my props are like stuff you buy from like Marketplace. So, you got to make sure the screws are tightened and the paint looks fresh, right?
Sure.
So, I had some work to do on the props. And then, of course, when I switched over to Whidbey to do the tricks, I really had to make sure that he was going to be able to do these tricks. And also, how do I want to lay this out on the floor so that he's going to be able to do the tricks in the succession he needs to do it? Like, there's a certain way dogs approach props. There's a certain way dogs use props. The way you put it on the floor is a big deal. So I was watching lots of old videos to see how the stage would look, so that I could figure out what is going to be the best formulation. So when I get out there, where should the props be? Where do I envision Jimmy standing? Where should I stand to get all of that done?
There's so much to consider. So much to consider going into that. Obviously, he nailed it. You said God was with you, obviously, and he was a rock star. Have you ever had a moment, though, where you like make eye contact with the dog and you think, I'm going to go impromptu here? Or is everything pretty well laid out and you stick with it?
So it depends on what you mean in perspective of that. Like for live, you just have to go with the flow and you have to be ready that it may not have worked. And what was I going to do if it didn't? And I had all those plans, like a plan B. The scariest part is that they took my props away from me because they had to clean it up for TV and they further clean it up. Like they did complete new wraps on some of the things. They changed the can he holds. And I'm like, if you change props on dogs last minute, sometimes they're like, whoa, what is this? Right.
I'm sure.
So I was like, oh gosh, okay, gosh, I hope I don't do major changes. It might affect how he does it. And that was a moment where I kind of was like, okay. And we didn't have a chance to practice with it. It was like brought out, this is what you're using, you know, go. And that's kind of a moment where I was just like, all right, Whidbey, like, all right, bud, let's do this. Like, we're gonna have to do the best we can with what we were just given. And I'm gonna pray that he, you know, can assimilate what he was used to what was new and just roll with the punches. And there's been times on set where that has absolutely happened. And I'd have to say, sometimes I think we like knocked it out of the park. And sometimes I wish I advocated for my dog more, because maybe there was a change that was made that I should have said, no, that's actually not a good idea for my dog, or my dog's not going to like that. But the pressure, or you're naive, you feel naive. And so you think you should just do what they want, right? I'll just do what they want because everyone else wants to do it. When I wish I would have said, nope, not a good idea. My dog's not going to like this, and, you know, advocated for my dog more. So whenever I feel that gut feeling, I try to speak up on it.
And there you go. I mean, it's good to be proactive and say, here's what we need. I mean, ultimately they get a better product, but that is part of life experience, learning when to speak up and when to hold back, you know, I mean, just building confidence over time. You know, I'm not going to ask you to give away too many secrets, but I am going to ask, like, how do you prepare or go through that process of training the dogs to complete those tricks with multiple steps in them, where everything is just a little more orchestrated and planned out in advance?
That's a really nice training theory method called a behavior chain. And so, like the trick of using the fridge, the dog has to give the can to Jimmy Fallon. He has to also open the fridge and get it out of the fridge. So if you think of it as an equation, the first thing is what? He has to go to the fridge and open the door, right? The second thing is he has to go in the fridge and grab the can. And the third thing is he has to give the can to Jimmy. So when you're doing a behavior chain, you actually teach it in reverse. So first, the dog just brings me the can, brings me the can. Then I'll put it inside the fridge, right? So then the door is open, but all he has to do is get it from inside and bring it to me. Get it from inside, and we repeat that. Then I'll close the door, and obviously the dog has to know how to do that. So he'll open it, and then he'll see that it's in there, and he'll remember that's when I get it and bring it to her. And so it all becomes a behavior chain so that you can eventually, ideally, on one cue, get all of that in one motion.
That is fascinating. And it's so counterintuitive. It's not what we would think. You know, that is so incredible. Well, without further ado, Chrissy, I want to see you all in action. Will you show us some tricks?
Sure. I'm going to show you some dance moves because that's kind of what we love to do most. And Darby loves to do what we call canine freestyle. So I'm going to show you just a couple here that you could see from us today. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me about them online. Sure. But Darby, are you ready? All right, bud. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to let you guys see us a little bit more if I can. All right. And you can see the floor. Okay. Ready, Darby? Come. Good. Over. Good job. Scoop. 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 That's a good boy. Up, up. Up, up. Back. Up, up. Good stuff. Good job. Oh. Back. All right, we've got one more. We'll give you right here. Back. See if we can do it. Kind of small. Can we have enough space? Back. Sharp. Good job. Good. Come around. Come around. Good. Can you leave? Leave. Good.
Yay. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So sweet. He's obviously So bright and a really good boy, a really good boy. You deserve that treat,
He
buddy.
did,
What a
yes.
sweetie. So for dog moms who are watching Chrissy and wondering, how in the world do I get my dog to do tricks like this? Or I don't know, maybe even more basic tricks. What are maybe your top 3 or top 5 tips to approach training in the right way?
Sure. So one of my top tips is to first look at your dog's health and fitness and where your dog is. Like, look at them in complete whole. Do they have arthritis? Are they older? Are they a puppy? What are you working with first? Because you don't want to ask your dog to do some of these things if they're not going to physically be in a good position to do that. Second, I always say find what motivates your dog. So I use treats today, but you can also use toys, whatever works best for your dog. You know, if there's some dogs just like to get pet, like that's enough for them to be like, oh, it's worth doing it because I got love. So find what motivates your dog. And then my third tip is find a positive reinforcement trainer. And the reason for that is that I use treats and toys as part of my training process, which we have online courses. But I do recommend that if you would go and work with a positive reinforcement trainer, because then you're getting your dog to volunteer this good behavior versus feeling like they're being pushed to do it, or possibly other ways that isn't not going to bring like the best out of your dog. I love that they arrive to a training session eager and ready to go because they're excited to do it with me. And that's the kind of relationship I want to have.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those super helpful insights. Chrissy, I know a lot of our dog moms watching are going to want to keep informed on all the wonderful things that you have going on. So what is the best way for our audience to do so?
Sure. So my biggest platform, is TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Please feel free to follow the Joy Crew and the Chrissy Joy. And, I also have classes online. If you'd like to get started, I have a foundation course as well as trick training. But don't be afraid to message me about anything. If you want to just ask me questions or get some advice, feel free to send me a message. I'm definitely an open book, and I'll do my best to answer everyone that sends me a direct message on any of those platforms.
Oh, Chrissy Joy, you are amazing and so much fun. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome and informative Dog Mom News content. And while you're at it, ring the bell so that you can find out about more content in real time. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone.